5 of Jordyn's journey. How did we get here? Now, I'm going to go back a little bit to part 4 when I was telling you about Jordyn getting sick and he not having his surgery when he was supposed to. Well, after I got to telling you that, I thought about the blessing in him getting sick. It doesn't make sense now, but if you follow me, you'll see where I'm going with it. Okay, so the hospital that Jordyn had his surgery at, I'm not going to call the name of the hospital. I would not call the names of the surgeons and doctors either. Okay, so there's this surgeon. I'm going to give him the name Dr. John. Dr. John was a well-known doctor, surgeon around the hospital. I think he may have been the only one that was doing heart surgeries at the time. When it was time for Jordyn's surgery, we had already met with him. I think he had told us some of the things that were going to go on, and we were just kind of waiting on the date. Well, again, April rolls around. That's when we were supposed to have Jordyn's surgery, but Jordyn was sick. So they wanted him to be free of infection for anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. So let's fast forward to June. Okay, so this picture was taken on June 26, 2019. Okay, Jordyn was 8 months old when he went into the hospital to have surgery. This is what he looks like. You look at him, he looks just like a regular 8-month-old. This is about as healthy as he could be prepared for his surgery. So the next couple things that I'm going to share with you, I'm going to try to get through as best as I can without crying. Me telling you is I don't want to say allowing me, but I have to relive this in order to tell you the things that transpired. So they had us to arrive at the hospital the night before the surgery, so we'll all be ready there. They've been did everything they needed to have done, and he can go right into surgery. Also, Jordyn had been getting sick back and forth, so they just felt like it was the best thing to do. If he had to fast, they didn't want to take a chance of him getting dehydrated or anything, so they admitted him the day before so they can give him fluids and things like that to get him prepared for the surgery the next day. You remember how I told you Jordyn getting sick back in April was a blessing? And how it's going to come into effect? I'm about to get into all of that. So on the day of the surgery, we were in the pre-op room, and there's a doctor that came in. His name was Dr. Al. Okay, so tetralogy Fallot is a congenital heart defect that is characterized by 4 cardiac defects. This is kind of an example of what tetralogy Fallot is. Pause to read. So basically, the way that it was explained to us, Jordyn had a big hole. He had a big hole, and he had a smaller hole. The plan was to go in and close the smaller hole. Now, I'm not going to try to remember all of that medical lingo, that technology. I'm just going to explain it to you the best way that I can. He had a small hole, and he had a bigger hole. So Dr. Al told us that they were going to go in and they were going to close the smaller hole. He told us about how long the surgery should last. We went over all the pros and cons, things that can happen, side effects, all of those types of things. Signed the consent forms, gave Jordyn all our loves and hugs, and we watched him as they wheeled him into the operating room. That was the last time that we saw our baby look normal. So Jordyn went back into surgery. The surgery was a success. They brought him down to the PICU. We sat there waiting for a couple hours while they got him settled into his room. I think we left about 9 or 10 o'clock that night. I'm not really sure, but we came home. What they did tell us, though, is we can call at any time that we needed to. They gave me the number. his MRN number, and I can call and check on him whenever I wanted to. So the first night at home, me and my husband, we sat back and we kind of talked about everything and everything that kind of had transpired, how Dr. John was supposed to be the surgeon and then Dr. Al being the surgeon, and how we felt safer with him being with Dr. Al based on the things that he told us when he came and introduced himself that morning. So I called and checked on Jordyn across the night. They said he was still resting, which was expected. He had had his first open heart surgery, so I wasn't expecting him to be up and moving, things like that. So that night was pretty quiet. The next day comes, me and my husband, we go to the hospital to see our son, and he's still not fully aroused. He's moving a little bit and mostly doing a lot of moaning. He just, he just kept moaning and kept moaning and kept moaning. So we thought he was in pain. The doctors and nurses and things, they were trying to keep him comfortable. They were giving him pain meds and things like that. So we figured, okay, well, he just had surgery, so he's probably hurting or just tired or things like that. So we visit with him for the day. Same thing happens that night. We get ready to leave about 9 or 10 o'clock and head home. Call across the night like we did the day before. The doctors, but the nurses, they were still telling us, well, he's still kind of out of it. He's still moaning a little bit. We've been giving him medication and things like that. But every child is different. So he just may be one of the ones that maybe it takes a little bit longer for him to come around. Okay, we're fine. The next morning, I called the hospital to check on him before we get ready to go to the hospital. And the nurse was telling me that the doctors had been in his bed that morning. They had ordered a couple tests because he still wasn't coming around like he was supposed to. So they wanted to order some more tests. I think they might have did like a CT scan, an MRI. They did a whole lot of things to try to figure out what was going on with him and the reason why it was taking a lot for him to come around. Where most kids, usually by the second day, they are usually like on oxygen, off the ventilator and all those type things. Jordyn just wasn't doing that. So I'm talking to the nurse, and she's like, I'm going to call you back. And she did. She called me back. And she said, the doctors want to talk to you. She said, I can't tell you if it's good or if it's bad. I can't tell you any of that on the phone. I just need for you and Dad to get here. At this point, I'm panicking because this is not the first time that we've had a situation where the doctor wants to talk to you. Remember, that happened when I was pregnant with him. That's how I found out about his heart defect. So when the lady was telling me the doctor wants to talk to you, we kind of already prepared ourselves as best as we possibly could have. But nothing could prepare us for what we were about to walk into. 2 days after his surgery, his life completely changed, and ours changed as well. I'm going to stop here. We're going to pick up on part 6, and we're going to start from that phone conversation on Jordyn's journey. How did we get here?